In this video, I will discuss the work schedule. Now, the first thing that you need to remember is that the work schedule is for a particular subject. So, if you have two specialization subjects, then you need to make a work schedule for each subject. If you look at the format of the work schedule, it says work schedule on the top, term 2, subject, you have the phase, subject, and your grade. So, this work schedule, you need to fill in for the week or the weeks that you are going to be at the school. So I will quickly go through the format of the work schedule. In the first column, you have the weeks. So these weeks refer to the weeks that you have in term 2. So week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the weeks that you have in term 2. So week 1 started on the 5th of April, it goes on to the 8th of April. Week 2 from the 11th of April to the 14th of April. So the second column gives you the actual dates of the week, and the third column gives you the number of days in each of those weeks. The next column is the topic. The next column is the concepts and the skills. The next column is the resources. And the next column is whether you observed the lesson or you actually taught the lesson. So that is briefly the format of the work schedule. Now, where do you get the information to fill this work schedule in? The information for the work schedule can be found in the CAPS document. Now, the CAPS document has a number of pages. So where do you look for it in the CAPS document? You'll need to look for the information that you're going to fill in the work schedule in the term plans of the CAPS document. So I'm going to take an example. So if I take business studies for the senior FET phase, I'm going to take a business studies grade 10 for grade 10. So when I looked in the CAPS document, this is the page that I looked at. In this page, we have the term plan for grade 10 business studies, and you would see on the top it is term 2. Now you notice that the information in the CAPS document is very similar to the columns that we have in our work schedule. So in the first column, it says week and hour. So in other words, whatever we're going to do under this topic, we're going to do it over 2 weeks, week 1 and week 2 of the term. So the topic for week 1 and week 2 is contemporary socio-economic issues. That is the topic. So that topic will be written in the column where you have topic in your work schedule. Now, remember, what's important here is that under the topic, we have the different concepts that are going to be taught. Now, you cannot teach all these concepts in one lesson. Therefore, it says there, you have to teach it over a 2-week period. Now, for business studies in grade 10, they have 4 periods per week. So in other words, all these things that you see in the third column, all those concepts must be taught in the 8 periods that you have. In week 1, you have 4 periods. In week 2, you have 4 periods. So you will teach it over 8 periods as in the timetable. So if you look at the concepts or the content of this topic, there are a number of things that you need to teach. So it is your job as the teacher to look at the textbook as well and think about what can you teach in that period of time in the first week and in the second week. So there are certain things that you can combine here. So if I take the topics here, it says inequality and poverty, definitions and impacts. That you can teach in one period. In the next one is inclusivity, definition, aim of inclusivity, and efforts to create an inclusive workforce. That can be taught in another period. Unemployment, unproductive labor force, HIV/AIDS and its effects on business, that can be taught in, those two things can be taught in one period, right? So that is how I will choose, and I will use these things, these concepts. These are the concepts that I will write in the work schedule. So in the first week, I will write down all the things that I'm going to be teaching under the topic contemporary socio-economic issues. But as I said, we cannot teach everything in the first week. We have to make a choice of what to be taught in the first week. Then when you go on to the second week, as in your work schedule here, it says from the 11th to the 14th of April. Here again, we are still looking at the third column, the first section here. We are going to then choose all the things that we are going to teach in the second column and then transfer it to the work schedule. So we're going to do this together with the textbook. The textbook will also guide us as to what can be taught in that period of time. Then in the next column on your work schedule, you have resources. Now, in the CAPS document, you will find there's a column on the end which says recommended resources. Now, you can use those resources that are recommended in the CAPS document, or you can develop your own resources as well. So those, then in your work schedule, for all the concepts that you are going to teach, you need to put down whether what kind of resources you are going to use. So the idea for the resources is given to you in the CAPS document. It is also given to you in the textbooks. And that is why I said at the beginning, when you do your work schedule, you will do it together with the CAPS document where you have the annual term plan, and you will do it together with the textbook. Because we are in term two, and we are still in the first week of term 2, and then it gives you what is to be done, taught in the first 2 weeks. Then you'll see as we go further down, it gives you other topics to be taught in the other weeks. In the third week, as in your work schedule, week 3, here in the term plan, you have week 3, and your topic for week 3 is social responsibility. And in the 4 periods that you have in week 3, these are the things that you will teach, right? And it also gives you an idea of the resources that you are going to be using for that particular topic. In week 4, we have week 4, and the topic there is entrepreneurial qualities, right? So week 4 on your work schedule, that will be your topic, and then the concepts that you will teach are there in the CAPS document as well as the resources. Okay, so to populate the work schedule, you have to work with the CAPS document, the term plan in the CAPS document specifically, as well as the textbook. Now, in the last column of your work schedule, there would be some of the lessons you will teach and some of the lessons you might observe. So you can just put a O if you have observed the lesson, and a T if you have taught the lesson, right? So that is how you will populate the work schedule. Remember, the work schedule is for a subject, right? And the information, once more I'm repeating, the information for your work schedule can be got from your CAPS document, in the term plan, as well as from the textbook. I hope this is clear to all of you. Thank you very much.